now we're in a culture where not only do the players have the ability to move on quickly, the coaches kind of can too. They'll just recruit over you. They'll bring in somebody else in with the portal, and I hate to say you're dead to me, but yeah, maybe he'll find it, because to make it in the NBA, to make it at any next level, you have to have your motor running. I mean, if you think these guys don't work their asses off even in the off season, you're crazy. Yeah, they make a lot of money, but they work hard too. I mean, and I'm not saying are they always putting in a 10, 11-hour day? Nah, I'm not saying that, comparing that to someone who does that, but their 6-hour days probably would be comparative to a lot of people's 12-hour days, because of what it endures, and the things they have to put their body through, the time lost. You don't have a normal life.
Right. Well, and okay, I don't know. I don't remember back this far, but here's an example, in my opinion. Did Jordan Hulse play as a freshman? Did he play a lot as a freshman at Indiana? I legitimately don't remember.
I don't either, but I'm going to go with a no on that.
So this is my point. The problem with the transfer portal is, let's say Jordan didn't play much, or he was on we can acknowledge that at first they were not good teams, right? Until later in his career, he did not play on good teams. But the point is that
Jordan's not a guy I would use as an example, though, because here's my who had to battle and learn and fight.
This is my point, though. The problem with the transfer portal is, if you're a good player on a bad team, you can go on to somewhere else who's competing for a national championship immediately. If you're a player who's not getting playing time immediately, you can go to another school. Imagine if a guy like Jordan Hulse, who maybe didn't play as much as a freshman or was a part of a bad team early in his career, just moved on. He had to battle through that adversity, and it resulted in him being part of a Big Ten championship winning team, and it also resulted in him having, a decade-long career in professional basketball in Europe?
He averaged that's 25 minutes a game as a freshman. Not only did he start 17 games there, Caleb, thank you, but he averaged 25 minutes a game. Yeah. And
so I couldn't remember, but the point was those teams weren't that good.
Nope.
Early in his career. So point being is, let's say even that. So he could have gone to somewhere else in the Big Ten if the transfer portal. He could have gone somewhere that was competing for a national championship, and whether he was a starter somewhere else or he played a big role, there are a lot of teams that would have.
I'll tell you the guys that make an example of her on that team: Victor Oladipo, or Christian Watford, who were bigger names. Those guys. Cody Zeller. Cody Zeller was an Indiana kid. I'm trying to, especially people like Jordan was a Bloomington guy, less likely to do that. But Cody, or Victor Oladipo, he's from Maryland. So I could see that of happening then, like that. But yeah, exactly. I agree with your point.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's not anything about Jordan or in particular. I'm just saying, now you see players, look at some of these guys that play on mid-major teams. Look at some of these guys that are playing on teams that are bad. If they have a star outing, they can leave and go to a conference championship contender, to an NCAA Final Four contender, and you don't have to go through that adversity. And that, to me, that's what is going to be a problem with this game, because like you just mentioned, if you're not willing to go get developed, if you're not willing to get your butt chewed or put in the work that you need to, you can just say, hey, you know what, I'm going to go somewhere else. You know what, actually, Evansville looks pretty good. I'll play 30 minutes for the Aces, no problem. And you don't have to fight through that. That, to me, is the biggest problem with the transfer portal. I understand why, if a coach leaves after he's recruited a player, why we would open up the portal to that. But this idea that players can transfer, especially freshmen, I think you need to leave it at 2 years to give them the opportunity to learn. But we've had that conversation multiple times. It's just, it kind of feeds into that, I'm not getting my way here, I'm going to pick up my ball and go home. And that's not the case with every player that enters the transfer portal, but by God, it's happening frequently.
Well, there's nothing bigger than Memphis transfer and former number 1 high school basketball prospect recruit Imani Bates transferring from Memphis and Penny Hardaway's beleaguered program to play for the hometown Eastern Michigan. I don't even know what they are. What's Eastern Michigan? I know Central Michigan or the I know all the
Eastern.
Let's see.
Eastern
I know
Michigan?
the answer to all three. I'm curious what your all's answers are. What is
I don't
the Eastern
know.
Michigan mascot?
I don't know.
I know the-
Central
I know
Michigan
the-
Chippewas.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys.
Western Michigan.
Western Michigan. Oh man, Western Michigan. What are they like?
They're the same
Yellow
name.
Jackets or
Actually, both
Lumberjacks or
Eastern
something?
and Western have the same mascot name as professional football teams.
All right,
the
we'll go.
Western Michigan's the Broncos.
Correct.
Eastern Michigan is
Yes,
the
because there are
Eagles.
so many Broncos in Western Michigan.
The Eastern Michigan are the Eagles, but
Yep.
because
correct.
of their name, EMU, their abbreviation,
The
Emus.
the
Emus.
Fighting Emus. Yeah,
And they also live in Ypsilanti, Michigan.
Yep,
Yeah,
Ypsilanti.
yeah.
Well, that's where he's from, Ypsilanti. He released a list in early May of 6 schools: Michigan, Arkansas, Seton Hall, DePaul, and Louisville, as well as Eastern Michigan. And if you would have looked at that list, I would have been a little surprised to see DePaul on there. Other than that, no, all those others are major deals. Michigan, Arkansas is really on the rise with, damn it, what's his name?
Eric
Coach's name?
Musselman.
Eric Musselman
Eric
with
Musselman.
Keith Smart at his side. DePaul is, they've been down for so long, but Louisville is still getting recruits. But for Eastern Michigan to land him, I don't know what that says. I'm not saying anything salacious went on. I'm like, okay, so is he planning on being in college for 1 year? I'm wondering what his plan is. I'm just curious because Eastern Michigan can't be that good. They're not on TV. I'm trying to understand the process of that. So help me
was
with
there
that.
an explanation? I can't look if everything's even across the board here. I don't know if I have an explanation behind it. I don't know if he provided an explanation. It could be he just wants to be playing closer to home. That could be a real thing. I don't know, and I didn't see. I saw that he picked Eastern Michigan. I didn't see if there was a reason or if he provided an explanation or what the case was. But
a team that has not Eastern Michigan, a team that has not reached the NCAA tournament since 1998.